Wow, so we've got breaking news. It appears that Congress has a copy of the Epstein birthday book. I want to go over the details of this stuff and let's just jump right in. So, headline: Epstein birthday letter with Trump's signature revealed. Wow. Lawyers for Epstein's estate have given Congress a copy of the 2003 birthday book. And I remember this. We talked about this a few months ago on the channel. It was also by the Wall Street Journal, and Trump was writing the sue, saying it was all fake, et cetera, et cetera. And I just kept thinking, I just don't think Wall Street Journal is going to publish this story if the book doesn't exist. And evidently, this is like what it looks like. So we heard a description before, but never actually seen it. So let's just read it. Voiceover: there must be more to life than having everything. Donald: yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is, okay? Jeffrey: this would be from Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein in the birthday. Nor will I, since I know what it is. Donald: we have certain things in common, Jeffrey, okay? Jeffrey: yes, we do. Come to think of it, Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that, Jeffrey? As a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. And then Donald: a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. And then there's Donald Trump's signature, right? And as you guys know, it was in the pubic area and like hair kind of thing. But this is actually what it looks like. It again, I think Congress has this thing. That's 102, and it says here, photo of letter which has been turned over to Congress by the Epstein estate. Okay. So yeah, Trump was trying to pretend like he never heard about this thing and it's not real, but it's always like whatever Trump says, it's got to be opposite, right? And I'm actually quite curious what else is in here. It says lawyers for Jeffrey Epstein's estate have given Congress a copy of the birthday book. So there's going to be a bunch of stuff in this thing, put together for the financier's 50th birthday. Okay. Which includes a letter with Trump's signature that he said doesn't exist. Well, Congress has a copy, so there's that. On Monday, House Oversight Committee members confirmed they received a copy of the birthday book, including the letter bearing Trump's signature. And also we have videos and photos of Trump and Epstein together, so I mean, they know each other. It's not like they wouldn't. President Trump called the Epstein investigation a hoax and claimed that his birthday note didn't exist. Okay. Now we know that Donald Trump was lying and is doing everything he can to cover up the truth, right? That's coming in from Representative Robert Garcia, who is the committee's Democratic ranking member. Enough of the games and lies. Release the full files now. Wow. Okay. Wall Street Journal in July reported, yeah, it was a couple months ago. Wall Street Journal in July reported on the book and the letter bearing Trump's name, which contained typewritten text framed by the outline of the naked woman. The letter concluded, happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret, which is a really strange thing to say. The signature was a squiggly Donald below the waist, mimicking pubic hair. Trump has denied writing the letter or drawing the picture, calling it, quote, a fake thing. He also filed a lawsuit against the Journal's reporters, right? I remember this. Journal publisher Dow Jones, parent company News Corp, and executives, alleging defamation and saying the letter was non-existent. And this is when he did this, it was like, well, okay, I guess we'll go into discovery, and here's the letter, right? A Dow Jones spokeswoman said, quote, we have full confidence in the rigor and accuracy of our reporting. Yeah. And I mean, there's pictures of them together. We have this letter. I mean, and you're always curious, like, how do Trumpers take this kind of news, right? I mean, they think everything's fake and only what their dear leader says is real. I mean, this whole thing is strange. Carolyn Leavitt, the White House press secretary, didn't immediately respond Monday for a request for comment. Of course she didn't. And I've always wondered if she's going to resign or not. I've always wondered. I think it'll be her or Marco Rubio will be the first to go out, but you never know. I mean, the year is still young. The Trump administration's shifting statements about whether it would release the files it has on Epstein has hung over the White House for months. On September 3rd, Trump called efforts to make public more details about the Epstein politically driven hoax, just as some of the convicted sex offenders victims visited Capitol Hill to tell their stories of sexual abuse and implored the president and Congress to release further records. And that was recently where many of the victims had held a press conference. And we've talked about this before. I mean, collectively, you would think that they would be able to, have a list and just write things down. But of course, you got to be very sensitive topic all around for these things, right? You just, when you start releasing names, just make sure that everything's done on the up and up, right? And it's just, I think anyone could understand this kind of stuff. And, everyone has the right to their day of court, the same way, that Trump has a right to sue if he thinks it's their, telling the lies and stuff like that. But I mean, then the other side's like, hey, fine, we'll just produce the letter. So we're having it right here. Allies of Trump have sought release of Epstein-related materials, but the Justice Department said in July that there isn't a client list of people who participated in Epstein's trafficking of young girls. Well, the birthday book, and that's going to be interesting if they're exactly the same, right? For people who sent birthday letters to Epstein, would they be immediately, clients? Not necessarily, right? But certainly there'll be some connections and crossover, I'm sure. That I wouldn't doubt. But again, all this stuff, you just and that's why many people will say, hey, just release all the info you got and let the public decide for themselves. Okay, so it also says here there isn't so the Justice Department, but that would be Bondi and Trump's people, said in July that there isn't a client list of people who participate in Epstein's trafficking of young girls, and new files wouldn't be released. That determination triggered an uproar among some of Trump's prominent supporters and efforts in Congress to seek the records. Lawyers for the co-executors of Epstein's estate turned over a copy of the birthday book on Monday. So this is just recently. In response to a subpoena from Representative James Comer, so that's a Republican actually from Kentucky, the chair of the House Oversight Committee, in July 25th letter to the Epstein estate's lawyers, Representative Garcia and Representative Ro Khanna had pressed the estate to release the book, quote, to assist in bringing transparency and accountability. And actually, I've noticed on this particular issue, there have been various representatives that have crossed party lines. You could say the better way to say it would be there are Republicans that have maybe their constituents are pushing for this thing cross party lines. And my feelings on this stuff, it doesn't matter if there's Democrats or Republicans or whoever's in said list or said book. Just release it, right? We shouldn't be about protecting people who are. I said, now make it clear, it should not be protecting people who are connected to Epstein. So make that stuff clear. And I think any reasonable person knows this. And this is why this thing has been damaging to Trump. But for me and this whole thing, Trump does a lot of things that are terrible, and does a lot of things and has done a lot of things that are terrible, right? And we knew this from the Hollywood Access tape a long time ago, right? He literally just talking about how he likes to grab women, walk into dressing rooms and stuff. I mean, it's just, I think he was found liable already for assault. There's always been rumors about what, Trump and his relationship with his former wives. If you haven't seen the movie The Apprentice about him, I would recommend checking that out. So, I mean, none of this stuff is surprising to me. It's just, I think it's, it's a matter of time. And if you got the evidence, which clearly Wall Street Journal does. The birthday book given to Epstein in 2003 before his first arrest in 2006 was professionally bound and contained letters from dozens of Epstein's then associates, including Trump, former President Bill Clinton, and billionaire Leon Black. And then one of the things that I think even if, whatever Trump's, affiliation or things that he did in the past, there's also going to be Trump donors that Trump may be protecting. And I've heard that several times, which I wouldn't be shocked, right? So you never know who's implicated in this stuff, and it could be any number of people. Some of the messages were anodyne birthday wishes, okay, but others contain sexual references and suggestive drawings or photos. And we've only seen this one so far, which is the Trump letter. So, who knows what else is in this. Trump was listed under the Friends section in the book's table of contents, along with Clinton and about 20 other associates. Trump and Epstein socialized in the 1990s in Palm Beach. Trump flew on Epstein's private jet, flight log show, okay. Epstein was photographed multiple times at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. So these are different connections. And it's also fair to mention, Bill Clinton was involved with this stuff and other things. So, like I said, it doesn't, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter if someone's doing the wrong thing, right? We should know about it and should make this stuff public. So, and also be clear. So like, say in these situations, I mean, if the evidence is obvious that Trump is, literally it says here, Trump flew on Epstein's private plane, flight log show, right? Then you got photos and stuff like that, and you can kind of track where people are. And all this stuff is like what, 20 years ago now already. So some of the evidence of witnesses will probably be harder to find. So that's why you'd rather want to do it sooner than later, release stuff, right? When Epstein was arrested a second time in 2019, Trump said he hadn't talked to Epstein in about 15 years. This summer, he told reporters that he had a falling out with Epstein because his wealthy neighbor poached some employees from the Mar-a-Lago club. Okay. Some of the people who assisted Epstein's former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, on the birthday book project more than 20 years ago recalled seeing the Trump page among the documents that were compiling back, the Journal reported. Maxwell recently told the Justice Department officials she assembled the book for Epstein's 50th birthday, but didn't remember any names of people who made contributions to the album. And you never know with that kind of stuff if she's telling the truth in that or not, because that's a common defense. I don't remember. But also, to be fair, that is 20 years ago, so she would remember maybe some, but not necessarily all of it. So, I mean, it could be a fairly big book. And I'll be curious if they end up releasing the whole book or not. I mean, who knows? The Justice Department informed Trump in May that his name appeared several times in the government files related to Epstein, which I remember hearing that, and that many other high-profile figures are also named. Trump was told being mentioned in the files isn't an indication of wrongdoing. The White House called the story fake news. So evidently it's not. This is again, what the letter looks like. There's Trump's signature. And then the key line here is, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret. So let me know what you guys think about this. If we hear any more news or things that have been released, I'll let you know and let you know my opinion also. I do appreciate your time, and I'll catch you in the next video.